Hey everyone, welcome to my most in-depth speedrun part-time guide I will make for Halo. This is the level Gravemind. This is a super hard level to pull off. Starting off, you want to needle them two brutes, move back a bit so you get some cover, then pick up one of their plasma rifles and we're going to proceed to take out the grunts. And then straight away we're going to get into a pretty in-depth, hard sort of trick to pull off. Pick up the dual needle rifles or needlers, and then you want to get in the exact spot that I do, stand in the corner of that door to open the door. And then you want to stand exactly where I do. You can position yourself with the two lights at the top where the rows of like seats are, sort of thing. So you'll see at the top right and the top left there's like 3 dots of lights. You want to make sure there's nearly or as close as you can to 2 dots, if you get me. Okay, it's kind of hard to explain, I'll come back to it in a sec. But you wait there, there'll be 2 checkpoints that should deload all the enemies. And then we're going to get a grunt spawn behind us. You want to combine him, turn around, combine him, and then we're going to spray all of our needler at the lift of brutes coming up. I will explain that skip a little more in just a second. But essentially you want to get up top and we're just going to needle all the enemies down below until there's 1 grunt and 1 brute left. And then we're going to wait for the carbine brutes. There'll be 2 carbines that will come out of these doors. Here they both spawned opposite me on the other side of the hall, I guess. So here normally the brute down below berserks at you, but he didn't do that for me, so he was shooting at me, so I had to take him out. Normally you want to finish off the grunt if the brute is berserking, and then we'll be able to take out the brute when we're ready to set up the next skip. Or you can leave the grunt like I do. So here you want to get ready to, you want to make sure you're almost in position to set up the next deload, and you want to get in a similar position to what you did last time. So you want to line up the lights, the top left and the top right. They'll be either side of the door, and you want there's 3 dots of lights, and you want to make it so there's 2 dots shown on each side, or as close as you can to that. And then you want to just stand up in that position and don't move, and that will give you the best chance of success. I will leave a link to another video in the description which will explain that trick a little bit better than I did. Hopefully you guys get a sort of grasp of it, but you definitely want to do that trick as it will skip countless waves of enemies and it will save you so much time. Moving on to the next room, I take this a little bit slow here, but we're just going to take out all the enemies as best we can, as quick as we can in this room. Not really another way past it. I like to pick up the dual needlers from the other room, jump up to here, and then you can needle the brutes in the back. Once you kill 1 brute, the other one will start berserking, so that makes it a lot easier as they both have carbines. We're just going to be using our carbine. Make sure you pick up both the carbine ammo from the first room of the 2 carbine brutes you kill. Now here we're going to be doing some risky strats. You should get a checkpoint at that door, and here I died, but it's only like a 5-second death. I only died twice throughout this entire level. So you want to stick that brute as soon as you run through the door, kill the jackal, turn towards the middle, and you want to target the brute with the carbine. Once you take out that brute with the carbine, or you can take out the other brute, the other one should go berserk. Then we're going to drop down here. Don't just drop down straight away, otherwise you will die to the full timer. Make sure, you definitely need to pick up the beam rifle here, so you should have the carbine and the beam rifle, as we're going to use that, or it should help a little bit with a trick coming up. So just drop down there, take them out slowly. And then we're going to hide in this corner here for a few seconds, look at the radar. There'll be 3 jackals that will run past you. Wait for them to run past, and then slowly look around the corner, wait for that door to lock, and you should get a checkpoint. Now here, we can sneak up behind this brute and back smack him if he's in the correct place. You want to try and sneak your way through this room, provided the brute isn't looking at you. If he is looking at you, you have to take out all the enemies in that room, and then some more enemies will come through, and you'll have to take out them as well. So that's a bit of luck there. And now in this room, we're going to take out all the enemies in this room so that we can get a checkpoint. We need the checkpoint in this room, as we're going to be doing a pretty difficult trick in just a few seconds. So as soon as we kill all the enemies, we should get a checkpoint. Check your radar if you don't get a checkpoint. And we get the checkpoint just before this door. Now this is a very hard trick. I'm going to try my best to explain it. Take out that jackal. You can throw a grenade at that brute if you want. Now run down this slope, touch the bottom of that slope, and as soon as you touch the bottom, turn around. I like to hide around this corner, and a brute should get stuck here, going in between and out the lift. You want to stand in between him and the lift as he's like kind of going backwards and forwards, and then you want to let him melee you into the lift, and you should be falling down together with him. And as soon as you hit the load zone, loading done, you want to spam B plus A and then X. So really fast, you want to press B and A at the same time, and then X as fast as you can, and that should propel you up the lift. If you fall down the lift at the same time as the brute, so like I did, and you're like side by side by the brute, spam the crouch button really quick, and that should make you go lower than him. The reason we need the checkpoint is because it will allow you to try that trick over and over again, but basically that trick saves a ton of time. I think I saved a good 3+ minutes doing that trick. There I died. That was my second and last death of this level. For this room, you want to just sword that right elite, and then we're just going to run through. You can do a sword fly through this room. I'm going to be showing some optional sword flies throughout this level in just a moment. But that trick we just did earlier, super hard to do, but that checkpoint allows you to try that trick over and over and over again. I recommend going into easy and just practicing it. I'm going to leave a link to another video in the description of another tutorial which will explain that trick in a better detail. Here you should be able to run straight through this room. However, that sword elite was following me. You saw earlier he should have killed me earlier, but somehow he didn't. So I just take out all the enemies in this room with my beam rifle, and then here we should get a checkpoint going into this room, and I'm going to be showing you the first optional sword fly which you guys can do. So don't worry about these hunters, you can just run straight past them. Now here we can do a sword fly. You want to use the beam rifle. I had the carbine when I recorded this clip, so you should be able to just sword fly to that beam rifle jackal. You shouldn't die. Or another way you can do it is stand where I did with the beam rifle, and then you can just go towards him, and if you do it correctly you can launch yourself all the way over the top and straight down the slope, and it will save a ton of time. It makes it a bit easier. Instead you can follow the safe route, which is the route I actually used for this for the majority of this video, or my personal best I should say, but it's not my personal best. But yeah, you can just jump down where I did, take out one of the beam rifle jackals. I did a little sword lunge towards the hunter. Now here, once we get across this bridge, it's going to be a beam rifle jackal. You want to target him and run straight away. You want to be quick here. Another optional sword fly, so you can take out the jackal, pick up the beam rifle, shoot that elite, so you stun him, and then you can sword fly to him, which will launch you all the way across that chasm. Then throw a grenade down there to stop the carbine elite shooting you, and then you want to do another sword fly to these brutes, and that will save a good minute plus. Instead we can do the slow route, which doesn't require sword flies, and this route is pretty easy. We're just going to walk across these beams along the top. You want to be quick. Once you've taken out that jackal sniper, there's going to be enemies coming around the side after you, so you want to quickly jump up top here and just start running across. Here you can jump down and take the lift, but that means you're going to dive headfirst into 2 brutes, and there's also going to be 2 jetpack elites that'll come out the door. So we're going to do a little strat here which will allow us to walk all the way across here, and then we're just going to stick the elites as they come out the door, and we're going to sneak past them. Pretty easy. This level is so much easier once you know the strats. Like, if you try and dive head first into this level and just fight your way through all of it, you're gonna this level is very mentally draining. Trying to get this was a pain, and I was losing my mind. But here we're going to do some risky strats, so we get a checkpoint. You can jump down to the lower level and then jump back up once you can just go underneath all the bits, but I like to just run straight across, as I find that works more often than not. So I don't know, you might have to just experiment through that room. You can fight your way through that room, but that takes ages, so I would just recommend restarting from the checkpoint and just trying to YOLO your way through that room. Shouldn't be too difficult. You can go underneath instead of going straight across. Now here we're going to jump up against these top beams. I'll do a little grenade jump to get across this gap. I didn't do it quite right, but we're getting sort of close to the end of the level. I completed this in 13 minutes and about 30 seconds. Pick up some more beam rifle ammo there, and we're going to take the lift across this time. Now another optional sword fly coming up. This is quite a good sword fly, but somewhat risky, so we'll switch to that now. So we've 3 brutes coming out the top here. You can sword fly to them, straight out the door. And you want to line yourself up here so that you can do a sword fly to this grunt or the brute over here. But you want to try and bounce yourself off the side wall, and that should launch you all the way across that bit, which will save a ton of time. If not, we're going to take out them 3 brutes that come out the door. I got lucky here because 2 of the brutes didn't have a helmet. So I used the beam rifle to take out 2 of them, and then switch to the carbine to take out the last one. Now, I did make a silly mistake here. You do get a checkpoint. You want to jump onto that box and then jump up top, and then you can take out that jackal sniper. Now you want to make sure you stay up top here. Here I actually fell down, so I had to restart from my checkpoint, which is, I didn't lose too much time, but you want to make sure you don't do what I did. You want to take your time when performing that jump, because going along the top here means that the enemies won't spawn in at the door. So there's like fuel rod grunts and jackals and all sorts that will come out of this door. You'll see me go through now. If you go across all the top of the rocks or do the sword fly, the enemies won't spawn. Once you get in here, sword that elite, and then we're just going to carbine the grunts that are running through here. There'll be another camo elite that we're just going to carbine. You shouldn't have too much health. Pick up a new sword if you need it. We don't really need it. Then we're going to pick up the fuel rod gun. Now here's where things all start to go wrong for me. So I didn't get, you normally should 90% of the time get a checkpoint going through that door, and I didn't get one. So I backtracked a bit to try and get a checkpoint, and I was panicking at this point. I was like, oh god, I don't have a checkpoint. If I die now, I'm going minutes back in time. So I start taking my time a little bit here. Fuel rod that elite, and then fuel rod them guys. Now here I highly recommend doing this sword fly if you know how to do it. I will bring out a video on sword flying soon. You want to go through that door, and then the sword fly over the elite. That will get on the turret, and that will save tons of time, tons of fighting. Highly recommend doing that sword fly. Otherwise you're going to have a right struggle doing what I'm doing here, trying to fight my way across this bridge. It is super hard to do, and I was really taking my time here because I didn't get a checkpoint, and I actually don't get a checkpoint until near the end of the level. So I actually managed to fight my way through all of these enemies, all the hunters in the last room, the brutes and the 4 or 3 ultra elites. But essentially we're going to start fuel rodding some of the elites in the middle of the bridge, pick up that jackal's beam rifle, and use that to take out the remaining elites. And now when we get to the middle of the bridge, we're going to turn around and look up, as there will be 2 drones coming down. You want to take them out early so they don't cause us any problems. And then you want to turn back around to the other side of the bridge, and there'll be 2 elites come out the door, or there should be at least. Now they nearly killed me here, so I was really panicking, and I actually forgot my fuel rod gun. I left that back at the top of the bridge, so I backtrack here. I lost quite a bit of time here, but that's fine because the par time for this level is 20 minutes, and we're going to do it in just under 13. It could have been way faster, like almost under 10 minutes I reckon, if I hadn't have took my time here, and I would have done all the optional sword flies and some more. So you want to just slowly make your way across the bridge, taking out the enemies with the beam rifle and fuel rod cannon. Now here I nearly, oh no, it's not this video, but you can pick up some sword there. So now there's a beam rifle crate across the bridge as well. Normally you get a checkpoint here, and I still didn't get this checkpoint. So you should have a full beam rifle and a full sword now. And we're in the final battle, and we're going to take these enemies out very methodically. Take out the elites first. So you want to back smack the elites the best you can. Just take your time. Just kind of sneak your way through them. Here I snipe this guy. Takes like a good 5-6 snipes to take him out. Luckily the brutes took out the fuel rod elite, and you should be able to pick up the elite's fuel rods. If not, if you've done the sword fly, you should have a full fuel rod anyway. Use the fuel rod to take out the hunters, and then you want to take out the brutes. So you want to kill the elites, hunters, then the brutes, and that will cause a secondary wave of brutes to not spawn. That will despawn the brutes, or they will come out. They'll come out last. They won't despawn. Here you see they come after me here, and I do actually die, but it's literally like a 5-second death. So I tried to YOLO my way through to the end of the level. But you want to hide in that corner, so the brutes don't come after you. And I'll do a little sword cancel. What you should do here if you don't know how to sword. Well, basically, I'm just going to explain sword cancelling quick. You want to run through this door, target the ultra elite, jump, and then you want to just press RT, X, and I like to press Y, so I press RT, Y, and X at the elite, and you should just fly straight over all them elites' heads and straight to the end of the level. and that'll you don't have to take out them last elites, and that is the level complete. 13 minutes 43 seconds. Super happy with that run. Took me nearly all day to get that run, but hey ho. If you guys want any extra help, let me know down in the comments below, and I will make extra videos if you guys need it, as this is such a hard level to complete. But yeah, if you need anything, let me know down in the comments. Hope this helped. If it did, be sure to subscribe. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.